In 3, 2, 1, and we're live. How's it going, everybody? Is my mic on? Can you hear me? Let's do this. Alright. Welcome to the bridge, everybody. My name is Man of Toast, and we're talking about stuff. What stuff, you ask? Maybe? Well, how about the fact that there has been 2 Q posts, both on February 1st, and that's the only 2 that we've got in the last little while. In reference to the Q post, I believe number 387, D Party Con. When you can't raise money organically through party individual donations, voter base, you steal it from the American taxpayer and give it to yourself in the form of campaign contributions. What was that sound? I'm actually... Man, there's been so many weird things that have been interfering with these recordings. Someone who's superstitious, let's say, might raise an eyebrow. Anyway, yeah, about the contributions they take from the taxpayers and shit. Like Planned Parenthood. They provided a 1.5 billion sum in funding over a 3-year period. Interesting. PP, Planned Parenthood, spent 30 million. Did it? Planned Parenthood spent 30 million. That's what they disclosed. But in reality, it was more like 65 million in taxpayer subsidies to influence the outcome of the 2018 midterm elections. Conclusion: should it be legal for a taxpayer, D plus R plus I, funded organization to donate massive amounts of money to the D Party in an effort to sway an election? D insider term, T wash, re drops, re Soros, and taxpayer funding. Yes, read up on that shit. Read up on that shit. Work hard. I don't know why I said that, because that's not what the thing here says. Your hard-earned tax dollars at work. Vote, vote, vote. Yes, indeed, it is all a fucking sham. It's all a game. Like hamsters hanging around in a hamster wheel. And it's like there is potential to turn it into a really positive thing. I'm not saying there isn't positive aspects, but there's still a lot of really bad shit that just takes place that doesn't need to take place. And all these negatives, all these fucking assholes that are pulling these little tiny strings, doing these little influences that have grand, impactful outcomes. They all know each other, and well, here's what's neat. Here's why Q is gonna go dark for a little bit. If you've ever heard of a prison barge before, I think now would be a good time to look it up. So, there's a good reason why Q would not want to broadcast any more information. There are military tribunals going on currently. I'm talking like a shit ton of people who were, past tense, were in super powerful positions are being rounded up, or have been, pardon me, have been rounded up, and they are being loaded onto prison barges going to Gitmo, Guantanamo, prison center, or prison camp, or whatever. Yeah, this happened just after Christmas, which is what he was talking about the whole time, all through Christmas. And if you look this up, prison barges going to GITMO, if you look that up, you will find a shit ton of confirmation on a fuckload of really terrible, awful people that are going to that institution through prison barges. That's how many people they rounded up. With military precision, like he was saying the whole time. And they're going to, and they're doing the military tribunals right now, in which people are being executed. Not all of them. Some are going to be in a hole for a very long time, but quite a few of them are going to be executed. And they're all pedophiles, so I'm down for them getting some of that. But at the same time, you got to come at it from a human point of view. If you're coming at it from a soul point of view, you have to see them as souls that are learning, and so you have to. You realize that it's going to happen because there are people who want to see that happen. But don't be a part of it. Know what it is when it gets exposed. Look it up, understand it, take it in, but know that it's in the past. Anyway. Shoo. That is why I think there's going to be some darkness now. On top of that, I'm getting wind. If you follow David Wilcock, you know that we're getting wind now of major, like bigger than WikiLeaks type disclosures that are now on the horizon. He said way before all of this that we're going to start seeing exactly this. Exposing a shit ton of pedophiles, shitty people, getting them out of power, because once you cut the head off the snake, or at least you cut the arm, the hand is not going to follow along very long at all. And when I say that, I mean there's still some work to do, but the major power structures are being removed. We're gonna start seeing companies fall apart. Like, people are gonna start betting against YouTube and things associated with AI, you know, and it's all on the road to a future that is so positive. I don't think any human could ever imagine it. Just because, think about it, you know, you've grown up on this planet, even though the universe is teeming with life. You've grown up on this planet, and you've been told that there's nothing. And it's like you still get these trickles of like, oh, it might be, right? But it's all disinformation, right? Which is a great weapon, fantastic weapon. But it turns out there's more to existence than most of us could possibly imagine. And it's coming to us. Like, Some people are so brainwashed to the point that you could give like E.T. could phase into existence via disassembled particles and reassemble in front of you and be like, yo, what's up? You want to smoke a bee? And then that person would still be like, no, I just hallucinated it. It's like, no, you saw it. It was there. There was proof. But some people are so brainwashed, so far gone that they could see the proof and they would never accept it. Which is why I'm so happy to see that there's more younger people, younger than myself, who are still interested in getting to the bottom of things. And I see hesitation in some of them in fully latching on to the information, but I understand, like I get it. I mean, you wake up, you go to school, you get brainwashed. You go home and, you know, if you're any similar to me and when I was in high school, you're just playing video games all the time, and you know, it's great and it does stimulate your imagination. I came up with some cool stuff while playing like Skyrim and whatnot, but it is brainwashing. I love it, but it is brainwashing. And then the whole time you're being pushed to get into the workplace, and you know, it's great that you have a little more freedom, but it sucks that they give it to you in these tiny little drips, and in the end you see what the end is. You know, if you're my age, around my age, you see what the end result is. Maybe that's okay for some people. It's not okay with me, which is why it's so important that we talk about this stuff now, because there may be a time where it's literally illegal to talk about things like this. And some people might say, well, this talk is harmful. It's like, to me that's like saying, it's almost like saying eating the same food over and over again is not harmful, you know? Like it just doesn't really make much sense. Kind of hits a logic block, which I think is what is going to get a lot of the more insightful people. Is they're going to be going along with how things are supposed to be, how logic says things are supposed to be. And suddenly the logic is telling you that reality is not what it seems. A great example, if there's anyone who still thinks we went to the fucking moon, you gotta accept it. You gotta accept it. You're gonna be able to get so many more concepts wrapped around your head once you get past the moon shit. And it's like people try to complicate the moon with flat Earth, and it's like, the Earth is not flat, okay? The Earth is not flat. But the moon is definitely an artificial starship. There's a Death Star in front of us the whole time. Doesn't look like a Death Star. Well, that's because it's been floating around next to us for a good fucking couple million years. You know, a little bit of dust is gonna form, especially when a giant planet blew up right next to it, which created the asteroid belt and scattered all this dust and shit and asteroids and nonsense all over the place. And that's where the extent of this comes from. And that's a story that is so complex I can't even begin to give you as much context as you need. But look up Tiamat planet blowing up, or blows up, or destruction, whatever, on Google. you'll get some like some theories are like, oh, it couldn't possibly happen. But man, listen, I've said